From Team Trump about this new fight between Republican leaders and the intel agencies, suggesting there was Russian interference in the election to benefit Donald Trump. But fortunately, we have Kellyanne Conway with us tonight, so we can ask her live. Kellyanne, great to see you.
Thank you, Megyn.
What do you make of the fact that the CIA and other spy agencies basically thumbed their nose at their congressional oversight leaders who are supposed to be there for us to keep an eye on them when it comes to this assertion that leaked out to the Washington Post on Friday?
We should all be very concerned about that because you had a closed-door House Intelligence Committee briefing, and no sooner did people walk out, apparently, than some folks were talking to the media. That's unfortunate, and at some level, maybe not in this instance, Megyn, but at some point it could put all of us at risk. And for what purpose? To politicize or to curry favor with the mainstream media? None of that is worth leaking secrets.
But do you think that's what they're doing? This is what I was trying to do with Congressman King.
Yes.
The notion that, the CIA is doing anything other than working to protect us would sound very foreign to most people.
Well, and I'm not
suggesting. Do you
suggesting
believe they're politicizing this?
No, I think people who want this to be the permanent campaign, who are the election deniers, frankly, and there's a whole group of them. It's not just Team Hillary, but it's a whole group of people who never even conceived the possibility that Donald Trump would be their president, and he's been for 35 days now. They are politicizing it. No, I believe, as the president-elect has said, which is more important than my opinion, he has great faith in the intelligence community. He said that as recently as this weekend. But in this particular instance, if you read some of these news accounts in mainstream papers where people are reading something saying it must be true, I just read 5 paragraphs strong where there's an intimation or an outright assertion that Russian interference changed the election result. That is just not proven. That is just false, and it's dangerous to our democracy. I went back and I looked at what Hillary Clinton said on live television at the last debate in Las Vegas on October 19th. And when Donald Trump said, "I'll keep you in suspense whether I'll accept the election results," she shot back with, "This is really scary."
She thought it was horrifying.
She thought it was horrifying, but she said, "I will accept the election results," because she thought she'd win. And now that she hasn't, I think she would be the strongest voice to come out at this moment, Megyn. Maybe she'll come and sit here tomorrow night and tell you.
Not bloody likely.
That she wants to call off the dogs. She wants everybody to stop suggesting this without any proof of
Also not likely. Let me ask you about these meetings today. And by the way, is it true that he didn't have Twitter there? Because I know they say they weren't big enough. But the report is that there was a dispute about whether there could be an emoji, the little characters, showing crooked Hillary during the campaign, and Twitter refused, and that Trump was ticked off.
I've never heard discussion of that at all. That would be too unserious given what the stakes are here and how these forums are put together.
He's
I think
not
you have
always
to make
serious.
choices.
Sometimes he's
very focused.
Sometimes he's lighthearted. Sometimes he's
very lighthearted. He's humorous, but he's very serious. He really has the gravity and the responsibility, and I think, frankly, the humility that comes with being the president-elect. He's been in there every day working very hard. I thought today's meeting was fantastic, not just because they were his, quote, political opponents. That doesn't matter in this regard. It matters that you're talking to people, along with the president and the vice president of the United States, Megyn, who actually can make a difference and increase vocational educational opportunities, really get serious about cybersecurity,
well,
and of course repatriate those funds.
At least he's hearing them. There can be no criticism of him for hearing.
In fact, his final comment was he'd like to do that more often, perhaps even have a quarterly tech meeting.
Now the question will be, once they don't do what he likes, what does he do to them, and does the relationship continue? Okay, let me ask you this. He's taking some heat, and so are the Trump sons, for attending that meeting, Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump Jr. and Eric Trump, because they're the ones who are supposed to take over the Trump organization. And Donald Trump is under fire for not fully divesting himself from his corporation yet. He says the boys are going to run it, but if they're going to run it, what were they doing at that meeting? And shouldn't he more clearly be drawing the lines between the political side of the Trump organization and the business side?
I think that's an unfair accusation against the Trump, quote, adult kids, from people who, again, are just not happy with the election result. And here's why I say that. They can sit in a meeting where their father is convening with the nation's largest tech titans, who also have a responsibility, I think, to the public good, to make sure that we have educational, vocational opportunities.
No, but the next time Facebook or Google deals with Eric or Donald Trump Jr. on a matter relating to the Trump organization, if they ever do,
I think that's
then they understand these are both businessmen and connected and spokespeople to the president of the United States.
I think that's really unfair to them, because they're not spokespeople.
This isn't coming from Megyn Kelly. This is coming from a lot of people.
I know that. I'm hitting back at those who are suggesting. I read the same reports and the same Twitter feeds, Megyn, and I think it's incredibly irresponsible to say that that Don Jr. and Eric and Ivanka and Jared can't be in a meeting with
Well,
tech
Ivanka and
giants
Jared are
because-
different because they're supposedly not going to be running the Trump organization.
But look,
the
these
boys
are his
in a different
sons.
direction.
These are his sons.
I know, but
and
he's
they're
got to
incredibly
choose, does he
busy.
not? I mean, are we going to continue to see them in government-related meetings while they're running the Trump organization?
Here's what I do know.
Are we?
That there's a lot of activity on the 25th and 26th floor of the Trump Tower right now with lawyers and protocol officers at great expense to the Trump family, frankly, trying to figure out how best to structure and how best to comply with protocols so that this very unusual situation where you don't have a typical politician who just moves his or her government pension to the next government job, but somebody who's an incredibly brilliant and successful businessman who has assets on many different continents.
Understood.
Trying to...
But the country has a right to believe in its leaders and to understand there are clear lines that have been drawn when it comes to potential conflicts
and they're
of
going
interest.
to announce that, but aren't we happy that you have the transparency and the openness of seeing them in the meeting?
Well, if it's inappropriate, the transparency is like, okay, great, we would have found out. It's not like there were a lot of people there.
It's not inappropriate.
But the question is whether it is clear that, you know, this line has been drawn between the two sides.
These are just incredibly
is.
capable executives in the Trump Corporation who will continue to...
No question, but they're going to have to choose which horse they're on. Great to see you, Kellyanne.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you.
So major players...
Hey, if you like this video, please help my channel grow by liking, sharing, and subscribing. It really helps to get the word out there, and it super motivates me to make more videos. Thanks a lot.